It's good to see you in person.
Good to see you.
We've done 2 podcasts, right? Yeah.
I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I think we've had many conversations. I want to say we've only done 1 officially.
Really? I thought we'd done one before.
We have done.
Was that a Zoom call we did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this will be the second.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is in person. First time in person. So this is the first official studio podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've only done 2 episodes in this studio.
I've already felt important, but now I feel even more important.
You should.
Like I felt important, all this stuff, in here, like walking in, like it's a real.
It is
like the Diary of a CEO.
That's
what I feel like. Right
this is the real deal, and I'm proud of the progress because coming from California back here and had to start all over, and this has been a 3-year journey.
Wow!
And I started.
Why'd you move back?
My daughter, which is crazy. She was graduating high school. She was on a swim team, basketball team, track. So she did all that. But she was going to college for engineering, and
for what? Like what kind of engineering?
For
whatever. She's ingenuitous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but what she decided to do was go into the Air Force, but that didn't work out because of medical records were messed up about some blood work. So she ended up going to the Army.
Okay.
Well, her plan going into the Air Force didn't work, but her 2-year degree or experience in college gave her an advantage going into the Army.
Okay.
With the engineering.
Officer, right? She was an
exactly.
Officer. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she'll have a good job. Officer. She'll be stationed either in Korea or Hawaii once it's done. Right. So I'm like, okay, you chose you did good.
We're
going
on a trip. We're taking a podcast on the road.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow, we love Girl Dad. What's her name?
Maya.
Yeah,
Nehemiah.
Nehemiah. Oh, Nehemiah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I call her. I never call her by her full name.
Sure,
it's Maya.
She's in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then she knows.
Yeah. So I want to talk about how we connected, and it was because my daughter was playing basketball, and of course I'm looking for different ways to connect better with her on like in teaching her, and I found you. I found Jenna Bandy. I found a couple other influencers, but you were the one who was actually a teacher.
Yeah.
And that's why I connected better with you.
Mm-hmm. I think that reminds me. I don't know if you have to quote me on this if this isn't true, but I feel like you said that the first time we had a conversation, and I was like politely, "I'm not an influencer."
Right. Yeah, that's why I switched it. Like,
hold on. Okay, yeah. So that's beautiful and spoken like a true girl dad, right? In basketball, in the game, that's how most of the girls who come to my camps and my events in person, it's because their dads were like scouring the internet for like ways to serve and connect, and here we are.
Right. It's been a ride to watch you though. To watch you grow from I'm not talking about the followers and all that stuff, but the progress of what you said you were going to accomplish and actually did it. Can you talk about that? Like what was the mindset?
It's so funny. I got to have a conversation last night with a man named Brandon Mulrennan. He's a real estate like guru. He coaches real estate agents now, and he has a very successful business, reverseselling.com. And he brought me in. This is why I'm still here, is because he actually brought me in, found out I was going to be in Detroit, and was like, I have a whole team full of girls. I have to have you teach them. Doesn't matter how much it costs. Like, I'll cover it. Please come. And so I did. So that's why we're here. And he was so kind to sit down last night having dinner with me, because part of what we're building right now is the shooting coach certification. And so I was like picking his brain. I've only done one sort of coaching certification thing like that before, picking his brain on how he does his. And he asked me something similar. He goes, you have so much drive and ambition. He said, okay, so what happened to you?
What happened?
What happened to you? Where does this come from? Like
Right.
for me, it comes from like this in my childhood. Where does this come from you for you? Where does this drive? Which I thought was a really interesting question. But when you met me 3 years ago, October of 2023, was pretty much the same week or within the same 14 days that I decided to put on the Changing the Game conference.
Right. Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
And so you were the first person that like heard the story of, one of the first times I really stood inside of my voice as a woman in this space, on a stage where they asked me to speak on the women's experience in coaching. You remember that?
Yep.
And what I said to them in the audience was, I got on stage and I was like, the women's experience in coaching is being asked to speak at a player development conference about what it's like to be a woman and not my expertise,
right,
or this thing I'm so committed to. So Truth with Love, if you want to empower women's voices, ask us about basketball.
Yeah.
And that was like the whole mission. And from there, it kicked off. I think, to answer your question, I think drive comes from either one of two places. One is purpose-driven. And then when that teeter-totters, as it tends to do, then the other is spite.
Yeah.
Being great in spite of,
right.
Your own situation. And so I think it was a mixture of both over the last 3 years. It's when your work is very purpose-driven, like my job is to teach athletes how to associate failure with overcoming. And like, if we can teach all of our athletes that, I have the audacity to believe like that's how I change the world. Yeah. It's like, imagine if we taught all of our kids failure is just associated with overcoming and not with giving up or not being able to solve the problem, engineering. Right. So since it's so purpose driven, it's like almost never about me. And when it's not about you, as a father, right? When it's not about you, like you just got some type of like gas tank that kicks in when you thought you were on low.
Right.
And so I've got 1,000 kids, right, all over the world that I serve, and a team now that I've built that work for me and their kids. And my CEO, James, his son Jamie got a badass present, right, for Christmas because we were able to build this thing together. And so I've been very careful and very intentional in acting on all of these goals and dreams of ambition, but never forgetting, like, foundationally, it's not about me.
Right.
And so when I stick with that, and it's not always, nobody's perfect, right? And sometimes it's about me. But for the most part, I wake up, with a ton of gratitude for the people that have built this with me, and then understanding what teaching kids how to shoot can really do for their confidence, and therefore the rest of.
That's crazy that you talk about purpose, you talk about gratitude, because those are two things that I talk about every single day, like literally every single day, especially gratitude. But purpose, like for me, that's why this works now for me. That's why this works for me, because I realize my purpose. My purpose isn't to do this podcast. This is just a part of, what I'm doing. Right. But my purpose is to give voice to those who don't understand their own voice, or who don't know how to express themselves in the media aspect of what they do. It could be their music, could be their brand, their company, whatever. But you finding your purpose in that role, like a lot of people could have been selfish and say, forget the kids. Or like they say, F the kids.
Right. I knew what you were saying. Okay. I saw the asterisks.
Right. But you chose to make that's your ultimate goal. That's amazing, because one of my goals is to make this facility and it don't have to be this exact building, but make this facility a place to where kids can come and learn how to do.
That makes me think Chance the Rapper.
Right?
His come up. That's the space that was provided for him, and now we have Chance the Rapper because he had that space.
Exactly, and we don't have that in this area here in Toledo. Only person, which is crazy, only person who's doing something similar is my cousin, and he
good genes,
right?
Yeah,
so
good genes.
He started a program, something similar. So, but the point is, like, these gifts aren't for us. These gifts are to be passed on to those who are, coming up behind us, passing the torch. For you, you built an organization.
Isn't that crazy?
Right. You built a whole organization behind shooting. And not just shooting, but the art form, the science behind it, the how it builds confidence and character in youth and in adults. Because I'm sure
yes, some of my favorite clients are like 50-plus-year-old men in their like men's rec league, and they're just tired of being bad shooters.
Yeah.
Like those are some of my favorite guys to teach.
Wait a minute. So they've been playing basketball for 45 years or so and don't have. Listen, when I was 5 years old, my father sat us down, me and my two brothers. Exactly.
The little tykes,
Exactly. And I still got one up there.
Right.
And taught us how to shoot. That was the main thing. Because if you know how to shoot, you can play anywhere.
1,000%. You'd be surprised at how many dads lacked probably the knowledge and prowess that your dad had. Because that's many the same story, right?
Yeah.
They grew up in a sports family. I mean, think about people that are pros that can't shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They still hoop. Maybe they're freakishly athletic and could make it work. But there aren't too many like adults like that I go watch play pickup now. Like all of them need work. Well, of course, all of us do.
Yeah. I'm about to say, I'm not.
But it's cool, when I have those like shot breakdown clients that are in men's rec leagues and stuff, because one, the whole like conversation looks different. I can kind of talk shit to him like in the breakdown, like, bro, bend your bend your knees. What are we doing right now?
Right.
Or like there was one guy who I did a breakdown for that he had like crunchy hands on the ball, like, and I was just like, hey, relax, hold the ball like a handshake. And then because they, when you teach children, you have to frame it a bit differently.
Yeah.
When you teach adults, you can kind of just give them the business. And so that's why it's fun. And then those guys see a difference right away.
What's the reaction? Like, yeah, I bet.
God, right?
Yeah.
Like
but I've done that too. Even watching what you do, I've applied it to what I do. And shooting, I've been doing this like for 40 something years, shooting the ball.
Wow.
And I still apply it today. And I'm like, wow, like at 40, I'm 48 years old. I'll be 49 in July, right?
Okay.
And I still shoot.
July what?
15th.
July 1st. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Did we not know that?
I don't know.
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's
good.
why we're so connected.
Right. But I still apply that today. Like I've improved because when you get older, of course, your abilities go down, especially if you don't do it as often.
100%.
But I've improved range, accuracy, and percentage.
Wow.
Just from watching your videos and applying that to what I do. So I can only imagine those who do it in person and have the one-on-one or the setting on court. Like, talk about, I don't want you to give away secrets.
No, I give away information for free. I think people gatekeep information too often. Like I give away all of my best information on shooting because I think information should be free. And two, like I could give away all the information and still like you're not really gonna know how to execute it unless you come to me. Right. But maybe it'll get you somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. And this is why we'll talk about it later, but why we've made the AI shot breakdown free and for the world, because again, like understanding your shot, right? Changing your shot can change your stars.
Yeah.
It can change the way you interact with yourself, with your confidence, all of that. And so your question was like, what is that like whenever you're in a room and you're doing that with a team or with somebody in person? It just happened. So it's like, and maybe you've noticed this too, but 80% of athletes, 80% of basketball players who shoot the basketball have the same problems. Have the same like 4 problems.
One is a hitch right in the middle.
Yeah, keeping the ball at the same speed from start to finish is one. And then there's like some that have to do with posture and alignment and yada yada. But almost always, especially with girls, like girls when they're coached when they're young, like they just want to listen, right? They want to do it right. Boys are sometimes a little bit more resistant. And So I was just here for this extra 2 days. I mentioned with this team, the Clarkson Warriors, an AAU program out of Clarkson, I guess, Michigan. And I walked into the gym. I, am observing them shoot. I have them like just warm up and do their thing. And I try to have them find an answer to, I asked them, what do you feel like is the main thing that causes your misses? If you could just narrow it down to something super specific. And I give an example for me is even now that I work at it all the time, I still sometimes tend to shoot the ball out a little bit too early rather than getting it lifted vertically. Yeah. And then my eyes, for some reason, pull to the left side of the rim. And so I tend to miss left. I don't really know why. I have to really focus on looking at the center of the rim. And so then I give them that. I said, okay, go shoot, warm up, do your thing. Tell me what that answer is for you. And then I'll step back and I'll just observe. And at this moment, I'm looking around and I see 85% of the girls have the same 3 very, very fixable, adjustable, quickly adjustable problems. And so I'm like, trying not to flip a table. I'm so excited because I just know by even the end of day 1, they're going to transform and feel their shot totally differently. Right. So one of the problems was, keep the ball above your chest, right? It used to be a big thing that you and I were taught, like, don't let the ball come down or it's going to get stolen. Yeah. It's going to take too long or whatever. So we've since learned that's not a thing. So I actually did a study on this in the NBA. I watched every single catch and shoot in the 2021-2022 season. It was 33,000 data points. It took me 6 months to do. Like, I would finish camp, I'd go get something to eat, go back to the hotel and watch catch and shoots for 6 months. And here's what I found is, of those 33,000 shots, let's take just the makes. There are about 13,000 made shots, about 40% in the NBA. Of those 13,000 made shots, how many of them do you think had no dip or no loading phase whatsoever?
No loading phase?
None. Like the catch high, keep high, like, we were taught we were supposed to do. How many made shots?
Made shots had no
dip.
Had no dip. Probably a low percentage, right?
Right.
Yeah, probably like 10%.
Yeah, good guess. So that would be out of 13,000, you think 10%. So 1,300. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. It was 12 shots.
Wait, what?
There were 12 made shots that were catch high, keep high.
What?
6 of them were Pat Connaughton. And so, and this isn't to say like every single one of those shots loaded.
Wait a minute, you said 12.
12.
Like, so 1%.
Yeah, I don't know. Math is not my forte, but yeah, that sounds.
Well, it's 0.1. That's
less than 1%. I think is what that is. Or catch high, keep high shots that had no loading phase whatsoever. But this is what still now I think the majority of coaches teach, and not because I don't even think coaches are teaching it because they're hard headed. I think they just haven't learned another way.
Yeah. And
so that part of your shot is a very easy adjustment.
Yeah.
Because we're teaching now. The example that I use is I have all the athletes stand up, put their hands by their ears just like this. And I say, okay, you have to keep your hands there. And I want you to jump as high as you can. Go. They jump and they get pretty high, right?
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, relax. Now, do whatever you want with your hands. Jump even higher.
Most people, by the size.
All they do is throw the right. And so I teach shooting through physics, not through mechanics. And so if every action has an equal and opposite reaction, if I allow you to redirect the ball down, where are you going to shoot it?
Yeah.
Up. And on the flip side, if you stop the ball at your chest and don't let it come down, and then you have to redirect the ball backwards. And then where are you going to shoot it? Out and forward, right?
Right.
And so that plus in all athletic movements, when we talk about like really anything, there's a load and an explode phase. Mm-hmm. And by teaching athletes to keep the ball at their chest, we remove the loading phase and expect them to have great coordination and, strength in the exploding phase. But we're, cutting their legs off.
Right.
So that was one thing that like 85% of the girls in this gym were doing. So I was like, you guys are shooting is going to feel so much easier when I'm done with you. So that was one thing they were doing. Another thing they were doing is they all were pointing 10 toes at the rim, which we found is not the way 99% of professional shooters align themselves. Not 99% of those shooters, align their whole stack sideways. So their ankles, hips, and shoulders are all slightly facing non-dominant. So their shooting shoulder is closer. Mm-hmm. That prevents what plagues our little ones in that the hand goes across the face.
Right.
Right. And so now if I just adjust my alignment, I can't, now if I adjust my alignment here, now my hand's not across my face. And so those two things immediately were adjustable. By the end of day one, they were all like eyebrows raised, like, oh my gosh, like maybe I could really do this. And then the third one was, we used to teach athletes to keep space.
Yep.
Right. In their palm, like 2 fingers of space. And I just think that's just baffling and bananas. Because why would I tell you to remove the surface area of your hands from this thing you're trying to control?
Right. Less control.
Yeah, right. And so you don't squish it onto your palm. You don't palm it. It's still just going to be a follow through. I've never seen one person try to shot put a basketball, not once. And so by allowing them to hold on to the whole basketball, not only are we allowing them to have more control, we're also preventing something I call spaghetti fingers, which I got that language from Mike Dunn, who's another great shooting coach. And their fingers go past their knuckles. Then they just put energy like underneath the ball rather than through the center of it.
Right.
And it's all because they're not letting it touch. And so those 3 things alone across the gym, dip the basketball, align your body properly, and hold the whole basketball.
Right.
And yeah, like there were 7th grade girls who had never made a contested 3, like who were just knocking down shots like accidentally. Yeah. Like they shot it and they don't think they go in, and then it goes in and they're like, like what? And so that moment, because the guy last night asked me, like, aren't you tired of this? And I'm like, it is tedious because 80% of the players across the world have the same problems. And so I teach the exact same thing everywhere I go. So that does get a bit redundant. But that moment, the dopamine hit that I get from that light bulb moment, never gets old.
Right, I bet. And it's a difference between like watching junior high school, college basketball than actually teaching basketball, because I can
you can recognize it.
Yeah, so I can go to a game and get frustrated by the way they play, by the way they shoot, or by the way they don't play defense, right? But in a teaching setting, it's a whole different attitude, because I know there's a purpose there. I don't care about purpose when I'm watching the game. I just want to see results.
Right.
And in practice or in teaching, you have a goal. And the goal is not to win or lose. The goal is to increase knowledge of what they're, what you're trying to accomplish that day. So a lot of people don't understand that, because they say, I can't stand youth basketball. I can't stand. No, you can't stand watching what's not being taught, and that's not being taught ends up on the basketball floor, and it goes from junior high to high school to college to pro, and we still see it in pro.
Yes, we do.
And what do you say to, I want to say dads, but parents who get the frustration and say, well, what do I do? Like, how do I teach these kids, how to be better? Because there is now an app that they could go to and fix it. But that's just one thing in basketball. Yeah.
With parents that are well-meaning and that want to help and develop, that's actually one bucket of our shooting coach certification, is like we're offering parents who don't want their kids to have a rogue shot. Like, you come get certified so that they don't. Yeah. But so the biggest mistake I see parents make, I actually just put some content out about this, is not giving enough room for the reps to breathe. And focusing on too many things at a time. So a concept that I use and that I teach my coaches to use is comes from Angela Duckworth, is a famous sports psychologist. She's the one who came up with the grit. came up with the grit like studies, like where grit comes from. But she also is a big proponent of something called the deliberate practice. And so what deliberate practice is taking, shooting as a whole macro skill. There's like 100 things you can think about in shooting. In deliberate practice, we want you to just focus on one micro skill today within the macro skill of shooting. And so let's say you're working with your son or daughter, and there's probably lots of things that are going wrong with their shot. But your job as a parent, and I teach parents this, is that their magic numbers are the numbers 1 and the numbers 5.
Okay.
Number 1 stands for one thing. So whether it be moving the ball at the same speed from start to finish, or getting 50-50 energy into your feet, or loading your wrist on every catch, or getting your eyes locked into the rim every time. It could be, a menagerie of things. Parents' job is to only give feedback on that one thing that they agree on with their athlete beforehand. Like, hey, this is the thing I'm going to be looking for in your shot today. I'm going to make sure this thing stays tight. The rest of it, you have to wiggle around the skill to learn, right? So that's the first magic number is number 1. The number 5 stands for the number of times you allow your athlete to mess that one thing up before you insert yourself to give feedback. What most parents do is they tend to give feedback after every
over feedback.
Right. And let me add some nuance here. At the beginning of like learning this skill and finding the correct way to do whatever one thing you're looking at, lots of feedback should be given up front, right? So you're going to do the feedback loop with your athlete until you fully know they understand what a successful quality rep looks like. But once they get there, stop, stop talking so much, right? They got it. Like, they understand what they're looking for. Their body will absolutely still mess it up. Yeah. Because that's how the dance we have to do with ourselves when we modify our skills, or we enhance or adapt our skills. And so now you're only focusing on one thing as a parent, and you're giving room for the reps to breathe, for the brain-body connection to happen, because it can't happen while they're hearing your voice. And so that, sort of mini masterclass I actually provide for parents at my camps. I pull my parents aside and I said, I've left your athletes in there to get their own reps on purpose, and let me tell you why. And so that's what I would say, like, to those parents that are like my dad, who, would rebound for me any day I wanted to. You want to go to the gym? He got me, right? But he also gave me feedback after every single and I'm like, Dad, I got it. All right, I know. And so I think if I could take that back, 15, how old am I? Yeah, 15, about 15 years ago when he and I were in the gym together, I think we would have gone even further than we did.
And you know what? It was crazy to say you talk about your father. Like, my father was a coach on the floor. Even when we played in the game, like we played down at the YMCA. When he was in his prime, I was about between 12 and 15 years old. Okay. And I was playing with the adults because he felt that I was that good. Yep. Right. But the problem was, even if we're not on the same team, he's coaching me, giving me feedback every single, if I'm not making the right pass, if I'm making the right shot, if I'm not shooting the ball correctly, it's like, okay, that's a little, so I had to stop playing with him because I would get so frustrated that I wouldn't concentrate on the game. I would concentrate on what he's telling me to do. Yeah. You can't process your mistakes if he's constantly correcting them for you. Right. And I had to learn that myself as a parent because especially with my son.
What's your son's name?
Jordan. So if you see the Jordan posters everywhere.
Well, where'd you get that name from?
Right. But with him, he's 6'4". Wow. He was 100 and probably 65 pounds in high school. Okay. 6'4". He could not dunk because he was never taught the right way to jump.
And at 165, he was a little guy, right? I mean, small, slender, right?
Yeah. So he was small, but tall. Sure. But he could shoot.
We love a big shooter. We love a big shooter.
So he was played the 3 and the 4. and could shoot, which was a bonus, especially in high school.
Yeah. Nobody can
Um,
shoot in high school.
but the problem was he loved to handle the ball. He could handle the ball, but he was not that wasn't his position. So it was a problem with the coach.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I didn't care. Like,
right. I was like, why was the problem? He loves handling the ball.
I didn't care. He thought he was KD out there. Go for it.
Okay. All right. I see it.
But coach didn't like the way he was trying to handle the ball, but he could.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get the ball at the top of the key and nobody's on you, I'm gonna take it to the hole.
Right.
But right. But I would tell him to do opposite of what the coach was telling him to do. Because I knew
you've just triggered so many coaches. Coaches, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew his yeah, sorry. I knew his ability. I knew his abilities outside of the constructs of the coaching plan, right? That's not good. So I had to stop myself. Like, I can't coach. I'm not the coach. If I want to be a coach, sign up for it.
Right.
So I had to correct myself.
Yeah.
So when my daughter was playing, that's
You're
one thing
about it, yeah.
Yeah, very, very, and as frustrating as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt her junior high coach did not know basketball.
Yeah. As many of them
don't, because they volunteer that position, and I was frustrated, but I said, this is probably a volunteer position that he don't know. So I started going to practice, and going to practice, I would help in practice.
Oh wow!
Instead of being frustrated.
Sure, like you offered, like, hey, do you want me to come help with the practice? And,
yeah. So me and her mother would help in practice. Eventually, her mother became the coach of that team.
Nehemiah's mother.
Yeah.
I got it. All right, never mind. I got it.
So she became a junior high. So now her daughter is playing and she's coaching.
Okay.
So but I say that to say, like, a lot of us dads want our kids to be better.
Yes.
So we're very vocal.
Yes.
In that. My dad was very vocal.
And he let me know.
Right. And I just think we need to let coaches be coaches, and we can coach at home.
Yeah, and I think, like, because your heart is in the right place, or a lot of dads, like my dad's heart was in the right place. Moms too, who are moms, out there supporting their kids just like that. But all parents who give too much feedback are like the perfect candidate for, like, continuing to have that coaching relationship with your athlete, because clearly you've gotten it so far, and then now it's like really comes down to discipline of self.
Yep.
Right? Can you? It makes me think of that. You've seen that challenge where people will play music and you, like, can't dance for 5 minutes. They'll play, like, the best songs ever, and, like, you can't move your shoulders, you can't do anything, and it's like people can't do it. Right? So it's a similar thing as, like, when you see something going wrong, it's like, I can't not say something, because you're just coming from a place of love. You're trying to help. You're trying to share the information that you have. And so my challenge that I give to parents, at camps is, like, give it space, right? It's going to be hard. Have music playing always. Like, have a speaker if you're shooting outside, right? Or if you're in the gym, doesn't matter. Have a speaker on, have music going. So there's not just silence filling up the space that you're giving. And so, yeah, I've gotten, emails and, returners to camps, parents who will come to me and say, like, yo, since you gave me that lesson, like, it's completely changed my relationship with my athlete, because it used to be, like, fighting tooth and nail, and, like, though when I would go rebound and help them practice, like, it just wouldn't be enjoyable for either of us. And now, some of them are on the app, and I assign that one thing that they're supposed to be giving feedback on that day inside of the app. And so now this parent-athlete relationship has completely flipped, and they love to go shoot and work out together, because there's no longer that tension of like, what should I be doing? What should I be looking at? Now both the parents and the athlete are on the same page, which is beautiful, like, which is what everybody wanted anyway.
Of course, right.
Because that's going to be, I know Nehemiah's going to remember those times, right? When you were working with her, you're in the gym together alone. Like, of course she's going to remember those. I remember that with my dad so fondly. Like, the first time I beat him one-on-one, like, come on.
I remember that. I remember when I beat my dad one-on-one.
It's like the most frustrating great day.
It is.
Because I can remember when the first semi-pro I got to train, First time she beat me one-on-one.
Wow.
She couldn't beat me, for the first 8 months we were training together. And then one day, she came out and beat me 21-0.
Wow. But you're like proud, but frustrated at the same time.
Yeah, there's a paradox in my mind.
Right.
But you love it.
Yeah.
And so that's like, my best advice to the parent coach is like, can you have the discipline to leave space for the reps, to breathe, to focus on one thing at a time? If you're not sure what that one thing should be, come find me on the Shoot or Shoot training. Okay.
So talk about the just the program overall, and how do kids get, or how do coaches, kids, or parents get involved and contact you for you to become their coach?
Sure. So I've got several buckets for like different needs, right? So I'm not centrally located anywhere right now. My plan is to plant my feet in Austin, Texas, coming this 2027. But for the last 5 years, Jesse, do you remember what day it was when we had our interview?
October 20.
No, I mean like what day on the road?
Oh.
Do you remember that?
Oh, was it day 70?
No, it would have been.
No.
I don't know. It would have been a few hundred days on the road, but today is day 1431.
Oh, so that must have been three. No. That must have been 1100 something. No. Go back.
Math is
That's
not my
three,
forte.
6, 500 and
500 something.
Yeah.
So I haven't had an address still since then. I haven't lived anywhere.
Wow.
I've still been on the road building this business.
How is that?
Well, it's amazing. I mean, I wouldn't. It wasn't the plan. The plan was in May of 2022 to have a 90-day tour for the summer. And then 90 days turned into 120 days. And then 120 days turned into more. And like there was a moment in December of 2022 where I had a choice between buying a house and paying a mortgage and or investing in my team. And so I chose the latter and stayed on the road, paid rent in the form of plane tickets, signed up on the trusted house sitting website, and dog sat and pet sat all over the world for 3-4 weeks at a time just to have somewhere to go. And then I would build a business. And that's what I've been doing.
Wow. So you were making money and building at the same time.
Not making that much money.
Right.
But giving most of it away, to be honest, to the people who were building with me. It's been a series, 5 years almost, of complete delayed gratification.
Wow.
Where the business was making $20,000 a month, but I'm sleeping on a couch, and doing my laundry, scraping my floorboard for quarters.
But that's what it takes. That's what it takes. We talked about the scraping the floorboard for money, and because I did that when I was in California for a while.
Yeah.
Because I felt that's where I needed to be.
It takes what it takes.
Right. And that's when you're doing something for your purpose. Because if you were doing it for a profit, you would have gave up a long time ago. Mm-hmm. If you're doing it for income, you're doing it for impact instead of income.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the more impact you have, I think the closer to income you get.
Yeah.
And there's a writer that I follow named Sahil Bloom, and he wrote one of his newsletters, and he talked about the whole game is just staying in the game long enough to get lucky.
Right.
That's the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, it has to be purpose driven. Because if it's not purpose driven, you're not sleeping on a couch and scraping quarters off the floorboard when you don't have to be. Because I could have been making 6 figures as a bartender at a fine dining restaurant. I could still do that, right? That's something I say in my head when it gets hard. It's like, I could always go back to bartending. Right. I could always go back to bartending. And I would love that job. I love people. I love interaction. I love making people feel special. And it's not time to do that yet.
Yeah. And I feel the same way. Like I was at a decent job making $40 an hour.
Yeah.
Making Jeeps.
Come on.
But that wasn't satisfying to me. It wasn't. Yeah, it didn't fill me up at all. Mm-hmm. Like the whole time I'm there, I'm thinking about this and what else I could be doing, and so I'm not focused on work, and like this is
what you're willing to suffer for.
Right. Yeah. And having these type of conversations right here is what makes it matter. Mm-hmm. What makes it count. Mm-hmm. You talked about the app. Mm-hmm. So tell my audience about the app and what.
Yeah,
Because this is
I
something.
went
This
off
is
a tangent
something.
on the buckets. Yeah.
No. That's fine. This is something that's amazing, and I think every coach should have a piece of this app, or should share this app with their team, with their students.
Yeah. So the app itself, it's in the App Store. You can just search "Shoot or Shoot Basketball" either the app or Google Play Store. And it's free to download for anybody. We put free workouts in there so they can get a flavor and to see if they like it before they make any sort of commitment. But I knew I wanted to create an app for a really long time. I once had a boss, a leader, who I brought this idea to for another basketball company. And he let me help design it. And then after probably 3-4 weeks of like trying to execute on it, he was just like, players don't use apps. Basketball players don't use apps. And I just remember tucking that away. I'm like, yeah, they do. Like,
Right.
Yeah, they do. And so, and like the prowess of young people with technology is never going away or getting worse. Right. And so I knew I'd wanted to create an app from like October of 2021. And there was a couple of times where I tried to execute and the idea just wasn't fully formed. And so I sat on the idea for nearly 3 years. And in April of 2024, I remember exactly where I was. I was standing in a kitchen at some spot in Cleveland that I'd rented before the conference. And it just like, I grabbed a napkin or like a piece of mail and I just wrote down the structure. And here's what it is the most important part of shooting a basketball is understanding your own shot. It's almost impossible to improve upon something you don't understand.
Right.
So that's like the foundation of it. And so each day there's 5 pieces to the day. Now, first piece is a piece of science. So you like actually understand what you're looking for. So how I explained the dip thing to you, right? It gives you something like that so you understand the why. Then it gives you your one thing. This is the one thing I care about today. As long as you move the ball at the same speed from start to finish, I don't even care if you miss all your shots today. You move the ball at the same speed from start to finish. And then it has their lab work, which is like your warm-up exercises that are specifically tailored to the one thing. Then there's the workout. Every single day, there's a maximum of 80 to 85 made shots, which is like a hot take because everybody's like, I need you to make 10,000 shots every day this summer. And I think 80 meaningful reps is enough.
Right.
And then at the last thing, the 5th thing they get each day, because there's a ton of research on sense of worth and well-being and performance. Like they're correlated, right? The more people feel worthy, grateful, whatever, the higher they tend to perform.
Right.
And so each day, every athlete, every user is assigned an act of light. So on day 1, for example, it's gratitude. Like, hey, as you're walking out the gym today, take 60 seconds to text somebody on your phone a piece of gratitude. And the second day is like, go pick up a piece of trash outside because it's the right thing to do. Right. And so eat every single day for 365 days of workouts. They get every single one of those. Science, a deliberate focus, warm-ups related to that focus, meaningful shots in a workout, and then an active light. That's in the App Store. You can download. And then, once you're there, it tells you where you should go. So that's like the thing we built over the last, we built that and launched it in 2024. It's never going to be done, but that's the, our monthly product that we can serve from wherever. And then on Friday, it had to have been the same week we had our conversation. A friend of mine named Mark sent me a text message with a link. And let me give you some context. So just about 2 or 3 days before that, I had illegally added Mark to my welcome email automation in my marketing.
Illegally?
Yeah, I just added him. Like, he didn't ask me. You're not supposed to do that. Right. And so I added him in there. And then the very first email that gets sent out to my newsletter subscribers who get into the welcome email automation is here's who I am. And also here's some cool stuff that's for free. One of it was, one of those things was a DIY shot breakdown guide where it was a Google Doc and it was like, do you have 10 toes to the rim or do you have a tilted stance? Or do you have, does your ball and hips load down together or do they load opposite? Just questions about your shot that athletes could fill out. So this was right around the first AI boom as well. Mark runs an AI agency. And so that all happened. Mark sends me this link. Doesn't say anything to me, just a link, no context. And it was titled the Myers-Briana shot breakdown rating. Like he did a play on Myers-Briggs. Oh. Like the personality type, your Myers-Briana shot type.
Right.
We've changed it since then, but he's clever. So I opened it up and it was the first version of what we're launching on Friday. It was an AI with my curriculum built into it. Wow. He took that shot breakdown guide and I don't know, man, scienced it, engineered it into some, I don't know. He worked his magic as engineers tend to do. And within 7 seconds of scrolling, I called Mark on speaker and he answered the phone and you could just hear his shit-eating grin. You could just hear it in his voice. And I was like, Mark, what the frick am I looking at right now? And he just laughed and Mark, I hope I get to connect you to someday. He's got just one of those laughs that just fills the room and makes everybody feel better. Uh-huh. And so he's laughing and I'm like, Mark, for real, man, what is this? And that was the first day of the next 3 years, or 2.5, I guess. It would be 3 years in October. But since then, we have refined and iterated and designed and redesigned and retooled. I mean, for 3 freaking years. And on Friday, we're releasing the Shot Breakdown AI. Wow. And we've made it totally free. Not only have we made the AI itself, the assessment totally free. What it does is you answer these questions about your shot. You can upload your own video into it and compare, and use your video to compare to what we want. So eventually, phase 2 is going to be you can upload your video and it does most of it for you. Yeah. I don't think phone cameras will ever be able to capture below the wrist. So there always will be some manual questions about hands. But for right now, it's just 16 questions about your shot with the option to upload your shot so you can really see. Yeah. Right. And compare. And then from there, it spits out, okay, here are your top 4 problems we flagged. And therefore, here's a custom plan made exactly for you and your problems that you also get for free inside of the Shoot or Shoot training app.
Wow. So this is a game changer. We talk about game changer. But this is a game changer because this not only does something for the athletes, it does something for the parents, but the coaches as well. Mm-hmm. This gives them an extra tool to use when coaching.
With all of their athletes.
Right. And with all of the athletes.
You could create if you were coaching a team, you could create an account right now and just get video of all your girls. And then you could sit there and do it. Yeah. And say, this is for Nehemiah, right? This one. And then you do the shot breakdown for her, get her playing. Cool. This one's for Jordan. Okay. Do his shot breakdown. Or you could have them do it under your account, whatever. And yeah, I think it's funny. I hope I said this last time we spoke, but one of my playful goals is I want to make the whole world so freaking good at shooting that they are forced to add a 4-point
shot. Yeah.
And you know what AU Pro is doing next year?
Who?
AU Pro, the women's league.
Is adding a 4-point shot. Really?
A 4-point line. I'm not saying I had anything to do with that, but I did put that energy into the universe. And I think they're going to have to, because if I have something to do with it, everybody in the world now has access to understand their own shot.
That's beautiful. That is absolute. I mean, I don't know. We're saying that we're talking about a sport, but the way we love the sport of basketball, that's a beautiful thing. It's absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you know this by now. I love the sport of basketball. I love watching basketball. I love playing the game. But even at my age, I still love to play basketball.
Same.
It's just
slower,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'll go stand in the corner now.
with knee pads on.
Right. The elbow brace.
Right. But there's no other sport in this world that you can go to a park, go to a gym and pick up a basketball and just play. Mm-hmm. There's no other sport.
Yeah. I mean, I think soccer, in countries where, soccer, they can do pickups, in that way. But yeah, it's a village.
Right.
And that's what I love about it too. When I was doing one-on-one intensives, I used to go stay. That's how I started on the road, is I used to go work with one athlete for 4 straight days. I would stay in their home. I would cook for their parents. I would mentor their parents as well.
So you're a good cook then, obviously.
Come on, I'm half Mexican. All right,
Okay,
I got some spice in me. Okay, yeah, that's my white side doesn't come out. Right,
right.
Okay. In those 4-day intensives, part of what I would do is I trusted the village wherever I was that I could bring these usually young women into like an LA Fitness and pick up 3 and say, yo, our only job here is to make sure she catch and shoots the ball.
Wow.
And like every single time I did that, right? Like imagine that you were on my team and I asked you that, you're gonna be like, hell yeah, she's catching and shooting the ball. Like that's our job.
Yeah.
And that's the village. Like that's the village that basketball has always been for me. My big brother, I used to play with him. You know, he's let me play with his brothers or his friends in the cul-de-sac and Texas Heat, and like the village that it is sets it apart. Yeah, I think from me not playing other than maybe pickleball. You know, pickleball you could pick up anywhere.
Yeah. That's new.
Not the same village.
Yeah, no.
Those are white people village.
Right?
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember as a kid, like we were made to stay outside. Like, don't come back in the house. Like, you go outside.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did all day was play basketball. We go from the dirt court to the park to the backyard to the gym. Like all day basketball. Right. We play with our uncles.
Yep.
Play with our dad and his friends. Play with our cousins. Play with the neighborhood kids. Basketball was all day.
Ball is life.
And I wish it was like that today, but I understand why it's not. Because of technology, one thing. Another thing, because people don't let their kids go out and play because it could be dangerous. But so what's next?
So we launched the AI on Friday. So that'll be, I don't want to say done, but that allows us now the space to move on to our next project, which is also, we've been building in tandem, which is the first ever shooting coach certification course. There's not another one.
Wow.
We're gonna own the market.
So can someone take that course without being in person?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, there's an element of it in person. So let me explain to you what it looks like. Mm-hmm. So let me explain to you what it doesn't look like. What it doesn't look like is taking an online course and then maybe coming to observe me at a certification event, and then now you're certified. Right. Which is what most of the certifications are. That's not it. What it is there's 3 pieces to it. First piece is a 4-week cohort online, 2 calls a week. You've got it's like a college course. You got your modules you have to watch online. You got the calls you got to be at. And then during those 4 weeks, you're working with one athlete.
Oh, wow.
With me together. You're filming yourself coaching.
Yeah.
You're uploading that. And I'm giving you feedback on your feedback.
Wow.
And along with my assistant coach, Kevin, who's wonderful. And then, before you give any teaching, you get on film a baseline assessment for your athlete. You get your, we usually have them do a round of 50 shots. Let's see where you're at. And let's say they make 14 out of 50, 28%. A lot of like middle school players are somewhere around there. Yep. And then you go through this 4-week cohort. Cool. Second part is you have to come to a 4-day immersive event with me. And I assign you a couple of athletes. They're your responsibility to build. And this is all while you've been learning the curriculum, learning the teaching methods, all of that. Then the third part is that same athlete that we mentioned that took the assessment. Uh-huh. You don't get your certification until they reach a certain new ceiling. So tier 1 is when that athlete improves their baseline score by 25%. You're tier 1 certified. You get tier 2 certified when that athlete reaches 70%. Or better on that same assessment. Has to be filmed. And so this is like one of the trophy arguments. Everybody don't get a trophy.
Right.
You might sign up and pay for this certification and
don't get it. Don't pass it.
Right. It is what it is. Like, and I think that'll help me. Yeah. I don't want to say eliminate, but like vet. Like the people who are really going to take it serious, and not, because ultimately tier 2 certified coaches will feature on my website, and then send coaches or send athletes to you wherever you're at.
Wow.
So if it's a private sector coach, then you get to now charge a premium.
That's huge.
For a shooting session. If you're a team coach like Kevin, who is our certified shooting coach on staff. Kevin has been certified with me, has been with me for 3 years, and got hired at West Lynn High School this year in Oregon. Was the head JV coach and was the varsity shooting coach.
Wow.
West Lynn won state this year.
Wow.
In St. Helena, California, I've been going there for 2 years, working with their coach on their curriculum. She's broken records in all of hers. And so I have several case studies of coaches like that I haven't taught in like this sort of formal certification way, but that essentially would be certified.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, it's just a formula. Like it's just physics.
Yeah.
Right. And so once you learn it, then it's like just reps like anything else. And so that's what it's going to look like. And we're only letting 15 coaches into each of the first 2 cohorts, and it's going to be interview based. Like we'll reject some applicants because, again, let's say I'm expecting all 15 to get at least tier 1, if not tier 2 certified. Right. And so then that means if you're tier 2 certified, then you're featured on my website and you're now wearing my crest. And like the standard is the standard. Yeah. And so like who I let into that space, it's not like a regular coaching community where like you can let whoever in and anybody can buy the thing from you and now it's cool. It's like, yes, ultimately we want to make the sale because we're going to drive the business. But like my sales rep, Gabby, like I've coached her, like don't let people in here if they're not going to fit the culture of the company. Yeah. Because who knows, you know, maybe we find somebody that's like a unicorn, like the rest of the people who I've, you know, happened to find that have come work for me. Then like, amazing. We need to be able to trust this person very quickly because what if this thing goes to the moon and I need shooting coaches? Right. I'm not just going to give that to anybody.
Yeah. Right.
But that's what it looks like. That's certification. That's first cohorts this September.
That's amazing.
That's what's coming next.
All right. Well, I don't know how long we've been talking. We've been chatting for a while, but this is something I stole from, I don't know if you know this, he's a journalist called named Chris Van Vliet. He does interviews with wrestlers, superstars.
Any relation to Fred?
No.
Okay.
And it's spelled different, which is crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah. But this is something that I implemented into my podcast. So, what are 3 things that you're absolutely grateful for? Gratitude is everything for me. Like like there's not a day that I don't give gratitude and say, you know, what I'm grateful for. What are 3 things today that you're absolutely grateful for?
That's amazing. It's a great question. Number 1, I'm grateful to have turned the corner with my parents. Not that we ever had a difficult relationship, but just as I've gotten older, you get to just enjoy a different relationship, right, with your parents. And I'm so grateful for them, and they always like just light me up, you know, tell me how proud they are. Like you know, the more adults and friends and people I get to know, like you realize just how rare that is.
Yeah.
So super grateful for them. Really, really grateful for my team. I've mentioned that, you know, probably this once today. I've just happened to find myself in the company of really like 11 unicorns. Like every single person who, you know, works with me in my company is just like the LeBron James of what they do. Like, and I just, every day I just wake up grateful. Like, oh my gosh. Just so much trust across the board, I think is rare. And that I'm grateful. Like today has felt like, it's funny, you know, you have good days, bad days in between.
Right.
And today's a good day. I was driving down the highway, singing Brianna's anti-album and just like having a good old day. And I looked up and I saw a billboard, and it was printed. It said, happiness looks great on you.
Wow.
And so I was grateful for that moment to be able to sit inside of that as I was on my way here to do this.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Last thing.
Okay.
Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram or on YouTube. We're taking the YouTube seriously this year, so we've got a ton of content up there. Shooters X Shoot 70, because 70% or better will get you the green light and certified.
Ooh.
And SXS.training is our website. So you could go go there and find anything you need from me, or you could hit me in the DMs on Instagram. We have a whole team in there that's really good and responsive. So that's where everybody can find me. If your shots need some work, you know where to come to. Okay.
I really appreciate you coming through because you didn't have to drive down here, but like I really appreciate you coming and doing this in person. I love what you do. I've always said that to you. I love what you do. I think this is something that that these kids need is someone who takes it serious. With what they want to accomplish, not something that you want to accomplish. They want to accomplish. You helping them get to those goals is amazing to me. So I just want to say thank you for doing what you do and being a part of the basketball community.
Thank you for having me. Beautiful.